Thanks, Cahirlock, and thank you to my Labour colleagues for posing the original motion. I'm moving and supporting the amendment today. There's nothing unreasonable in the proposals. The only thing unreasonable are the times that we live in. Ireland is one of only 5 countries in the EU in which employees have no statutory right to be paid by their employer if absent from work due to an illness. It has revealed a vulnerability that must be addressed, a safety net staff and state need. The lack of statutory employee-paid sick pay in Ireland is a reflection of the challenges faced by previous governments and a general acceptance of the status quo. It's been on the radar, but it just hasn't been prioritised enough. A cursory glance at the Labour and Sinn Féin 2020 general election manifestos, for instance, reveal no reference to statutory sick pay that I could see. When people are sick, they need to put recovery first, not worry about household finances. As a modern, caring state, we must reduce any barriers to staying at home and staying safe. Never has this been more important. So I welcome the commitment of the Taoiseach, you, Minister, hopefully, the Minister for Social Protection and the Minister for Justice, as well as broad support across our party and the government to research the extent and exact nature of the problems being experienced by workers. The Minister will consider reforms to statutory sick pay laws and any related change to illness benefit funded through PRSI. This was already committed to in the programme for government, but the timing is right to do so now and with urgency. And with cross-party support, I hope they will succeed where other ministers have not. It is true that paid sick leave is entirely at the discretion of employers, but much has been done to enhance the illness benefit during COVID-19. The rate has been increased to $350 per week for all employees, despite PRSI contributions. Any employee with COVID-19 symptoms are required to self-isolate or who is a probable source of infection has access. Payment is made from the first day of illness, so there are no waiting days. It's for 2 weeks for a person who is a probable risk of infection and up to 10 weeks for a person who is diagnosed with COVID-19. And payments, I am told, are now being processed in about a week. The Department of Social Protection will spend an estimated $599 million on illness benefit alone in 2020, and more than 60,000 workers have availed of it so far, including frontline agency workers, meat factory workers, childcare workers, the self-employed, delivery drivers, zero-hour contractors, and more. But there is still some necessary rigmarole around applying for the COVID-19 illness benefit. You need your doctor to send your medical cert to the Department of Social Protection and wait for the OK. And even though the benefit, once approved, is back paid, access to seamless sick pay maintained at the right level of benefit would be the best approach now and going forward. In the North, for instance, statutory sick pay stands at £95.98 per week for up to 6 months. I think, Minister, that we can and we should do better than that. Some contributors to this debate, not today but over the last couple of weeks that I have observed, have compared the government's willingness to rush COVID-19 legislation through on other issues, but not on this. Or that if we are supporting businesses through the crisis, that we should push for reform or get something back from them. But business owners have given us enough by going against every instinct they have to shut down their businesses and watch their revenues fall by 70% or more, paying for fixed costs week after week. Statutory sick pay is our commitment to supporting workers when sick at all times and not just in crisis. And we must remember that many Irish employers already pay contractual sick pay, but this step provides where employers do not. This legislation requires collaboration from small to medium enterprises, not coercion. And that is what the Taoiseach has committed to doing and has already begun in earnest with trade unions and business representatives. A particular body of work is required for early years professionals and healthcare staff to address pay and retention issues and problems. This is a separate piece of work that Minister O'Gorman has taken on and must be addressed as soon as possible for childcare providers, workers, parents and children. I absolutely agree, and have referenced in this chamber already, that a disproportionate burden fell on women during lockdown and falls to them if children are sick or unable to go to school or preschool, and that pressure is even more acute for single or lone parents. When some people's work-life balance improved during the pandemic, others disintegrated as they juggled homeschooling and home working. It underlines the difference between the potential of flexible and remote work and working from home during a pandemic, two very different things. And therefore, I welcome the Government's commitment to examine the extension of parental leave in response to COVID-19. Minister, it took a global pandemic to make us reconsider how we do things, especially how we work, and reforms to statutory sick pay and illness benefit should be part of that. I support this motion's aims and overarching objectives, but I accept that there is more work to be done, both to support Ireland's workers at this difficult time, but also to build the workforce of our future. And I am confident the Taoiseach and the Minister are working to achieve this. Gurmíle mai agat.